Yeah, we talk grind, we talk goals, street hustle, rhythm control, ideas cooking flame on high. No shortcuts, just do or die. 86 opinions, both precision, no permission. We build a vision, we rise, we move, we own this lane. 86 opinions, remember the name. Real talk, no filters needed. If it's raw truth, we feed it.
All right, welcome back to 86 Opinions, where your opinion is not part of the recipe anymore. Today, I thought it was important that we talked about something that is very important for restaurants leading into 2026 and really acquiring social trust, which is the first A in our ABCs of marketing, acquiring social trust, building brand identity, customer acquisition and retention. You hear us talk about that quite a lot. And the reason that we do that is because if your brand can master those three things, acquiring social trust, building brand identity, and customer acquisition and retention, then your marketing is going to be successful in whatever way you can do that. Today, we're going to focus on acquiring social trust because it really is becoming the brand currency of your restaurant or food truck. If customers go online and they can't trust you online, more than likely they're never going to come try your food in person. And obviously, that's very important if we're going to run a business, right? We can't run a business just by impressing people online. Whatever we're doing online has to garnish that trust that somebody's actually going to pull the trigger and say, yeah, I will come in and give you an opportunity because of what I saw online. Social trust is nothing more than the modern day word of mouth. Word of mouth never changes, and it's probably the best avenue of getting your brand out there in front of people, especially for the restaurant and food truck world. But the fact of the matter is that with word of mouth being online, now it's just louder, faster, and it's powered by headlines and algorithms that really don't give a shit about our feelings. So if people are saying good things about us online, we are garnishing good social trust. If they're not, we're not garnishing good social trust. We all know that when we go to a new place and we want to find a place to eat, the first thing we do is we go to Google or Yelp or another review platform, or we even go to TikTok or Instagram and we search for something that's going on in the area and what we can see about a place before we try it. And we match it up with other people that have also showed up within that search result to figure out which one we like best and which one is giving us the best social proof. Because you do it as a restaurant and food truck owner when you go to other places, we already know damn well our customers are doing it. Social trust is not just the first pillar of the ABCs, but I'd be willing to say it's probably one of the most important ones because without social trust, brand identity and customer acquisition are just decorative throw pillows. The reason why social trust is becoming everything in 2026 is that we are kind of getting away from a Google search type world. And even when we're searching on Google, we're searching with follow-up questions. We're talking to our search engines, so our prompts are much more in depth than just keywords. And AI is diving into anywhere and everywhere they can find our business referenced online. And that's giving customers the ability to judge you before they even see anything on your menu. And what I mean by that is a lot of times, even on Google, when we search, we're getting YouTube short videos responded in our Google queries. We are getting TikTok videos sent to us in our Google queries. We're going straight to Instagram and straight to TikTok to do those searches. So most people are only going to try you if those searches they find on the internet vouch for it. If they can't find somebody to vouch for you, they're just going to keep scrolling and you didn't capture that social trust. All these platforms are replacing the recommendation search engines because trust equals relevance. And when somebody can convey that trust online and convey that relevance of your establishment, then you are going to get revenue based off of that relevance that a lot of times other people are providing for us. Think of social trust as the new handshake. And we're going to talk about what actually builds that trust. The number one thing that builds the trust online is online reviews. And right now, at the end of 2025, going into 2026, your online review more than ever because Google is kind of acting as your true homepage now. If you're not posting to your Google business profile with good SEO driven captions and good images or media that you can put on there to stop people when they're looking at it, you're not telling AI and Google what to tell people about your business. Sometimes I think we forget that we control this narrative and we're able to guide that discussion and lead that customer journey with what we put online and what we put out there for these search engines to find about us. 80 to 90% of the first impressions that we're getting now on our social media stuff online, this is happening before they ever hit our actual website because AI is able to pull this information together in one pretty little package and put it in front of the consumer on the other end of the computer. And when you have a high review count and a high review velocity, that acts as algorithmic rocket fuel. Because if you have a high review count and a high review velocity for a hamburger place in Joplin, Missouri, and I just happen to be looking for the best hamburger in Joplin, what is AI going to find when it scans the internet? Have I given it enough rocket fuel to add to the fire to boost me to the top of that search? Have I figured out that after people are asking what the best hamburger is in Joplin, Missouri, have I figured out as a restaurant owner, what are the next 4 to 5 follow-up questions they're asking when they're asking about that hamburger in Joplin, Missouri? Are they asking about gluten-free buns? Are they asking about organic beef? Are they asking about smash burgers? Are they asking about price points? If you can decipher this information for your local area and start catering to those AI algorithms, your review velocity will skyrocket through the roof. When we talk about review velocity, we are talking about the flow of reviews that are coming into your different platforms. So when you have a slow review velocity and they're flowing in not quite as quickly as everybody else is garnishing reviews, AI and Google look at that as somewhat of a perceived stagnation. And that's kind of dinging you a little bit before you even have the ability to show up in these search engines. But if you have a faster review velocity and these reviews are flowing in at an average pace, or even better yet, at a pace faster than the other establishments around your area, then Google and AI automatically throw you out there in front of your target audience because you're already popping. They see that you have a constant flow of value that's being provided to the platform for them to pick up on. A lot of times restaurants get this wrong because we sit back within our four walls or inside of our trucks and we just sit and wait for reviews to come in instead of thinking about ways up front and using some critical thinking to figure out of how we can actually engineer these reviews to come in and control the narrative. Not training our staff on recognizing key review moments within our business is very detrimental to that review velocity that we want to enhance. Asking somebody one time to leave a review when they're sitting at your booth versus building a system to nurture that customer and not continuously, but ask them for a review at the right time can also help build that velocity. We don't want to keep holding ourselves back simply because we're not controlling the narrative and we're not asking for reviews. There are some very simple ways that we can ask for reviews inside of our four walls. The easiest and most simplest one that I think we see a lot of is just in-store QR codes. And these work great. These are just little QR codes that you put up. It says, hey, would you mind leaving us a review? On average, you're going to see anywhere from about 1 to 5% of people actually utilize these QR codes in the review velocity. So maybe out of every 100, you might get one, right? But sometimes we're seeing even less than that because people just don't take the time to be proactive and leave positive reviews. Unfortunately, most times when people are being proactive, they're leaving us negative reviews. So timing becomes a huge issue on this. Just because I see the QR code doesn't mean I take action. Maybe I think about it, but I don't actually pull out my phone at that moment and do it because I'm still eating. I've got fork and knife in hand and I'm stuffing my gullet, right? So if we capture these people into a customer database, or they ordered online, or whatever the case may be, then we can absolutely use a simple SMS and email review template to hit that customer after they've finished the meal and it's still fresh in their mind. And especially with SM, we know that they have their phone in their hand when we send it. We send them just a little link. They can click right to our Google reviews and they can leave that 5-star review. And then don't forget to repurpose those 5-star reviews. Don't forget to respond to the 5-star reviews. Don't forget to repurpose them to your website, and don't forget to repurpose them out to your social media channels so that other people can see that you're garnishing these reviews that matter so much. The next thing we can do is we can set up automated flows. So maybe that person doesn't bite on the first SMS request, right? So what we can do is we can set up automated flows that trigger on whether it be by days or whether it be by certain things that our customers do. They come back for more, or they order something online again. And then we can start triggering these automatic flows to follow up an hour later, a couple days later, maybe offer them a piece of free peach cobbler for a review. And then when they leave a review, all they got to do is come in and show it to you, or however you want to track that. Now, I will caveat that by saying Google does not like us incentivizing reviews. So that is something that you want to keep in mind if you're incentivizing people to go to Google and leave reviews. I don't personally see anything wrong with it, but if you get carried away with it, I guess it could come back and hurt you in some ways. Another great way to do this is to give staff incentives. Teaching your waitresses, your waiters, your staff at the window of your food truck to remind people to just simply leave that review. For the waiters and the waitresses inside the brick and mortars, the best time to do that is when they bring the check. Ask how everything is. Gatekeep that review a little bit with a little bit of customer interaction. I feel like we're getting out of the era where we like customer interaction throughout our entire meal. I was actually sitting out at a restaurant a couple weeks ago with my daughter on her birthday, and I was kind of getting annoyed. It was a buffet style place, and I caught myself getting a little bit annoyed when the waitress kept coming back and asking how we were doing. And it was like, we're trying to have conversation. That's what we're trying to do. Stop interrupting us. And I had to take us back and think to myself, like, how weird that is that this is the era that we're getting into, because, Christ, even as close as like 5 to 10 years ago, we wanted people to cater to our needs as we were out to eat. And now it's almost more of I don't want to say an inconvenience, but it's kind of irritating. And I had to check my own ego on that. So if you wait till a customer's done eating, go check, see how everything's going, what's going on, and then ask them to leave a review and ask them to leave it by name because you really liked helping them, blah, blah, blah. Train your staff to do these things. If it's a food truck, maybe slip a little card in there. We went to a place in Missouri a couple weeks ago that had a bulgogi bowls. You may have seen them on some of our social media stuff. I'm telling you, this bulgogi out of St. Roberts, Missouri is a food truck that's putting build your own bulgogi bowls, and they're so flipping good. And right on the side of the bowl, they had a QR code. So like as you're eating or as you get done eating, you can just take a quick little snap of that QR code and you can go right to Google and leave a review. And they made the process so flawless and so easy to do. It wasn't just a QR code at the window. It was on the bowl when I was eating back at home, which I thought was really awesome. One other solution that you can do when a review comes in, and this isn't even really a solution, this is just a protocol. This needs to happen. Every time a review comes in, your brand needs to respond. Every single time. And yes, even the spicy ones, even when you get that 1-star, that 2-star, that 3-star, that 4-star, that 5-star, it doesn't matter. Every single review needs a reply to it. This is a great opportunity for you to you're not only just replying to the review, but remember, we're replying so that AI can pick up things about our business. So don't be afraid to sprinkle in some keywords. If I leave a review because I had great catfish, don't be afraid to follow up and be like, oh, if you loved our catfish dinner, you would love our chicken. Every Thursday, it's buy one, get one free. Throw in your specials into your reviews. Give the algorithms and AI every opportunity to dissect something about your brand and your brand identity every time you leave a review. Not to mention, a lot of times When we see businesses that have nothing but perfect reviews, we start to feel like there's a little bit of erroneous things going on, because how is it that you just do everything perfect? It's okay to get 1-star reviews. It's okay to get 2-star reviews. The biggest thing is responding to these reviews in an appropriate fashion with your brand identity and capturing more information about your business and putting information out there that you want everybody around to see that you handled those reviews accordingly and very well. If you can show people that you're responding to reviews with compassion and with your brand identity and that you're attempting to make it right, a lot of times that will go farther than a 5-star review. And you can actually take that 1-star review and utilize it to garnish more 5-star reviews from your already loyal customers, because they don't want to see you get hung up and dinged with 1-star reviews that they don't feel are justified as to how you typically handle business. So don't be afraid of 1-star reviews. They're not going to hurt you as bad as you think they are. It's also important to remember reviews aren't the only way that customers are sizing you up. Now, we also want receipts. And what I mean by receipts in the digital marketing world for restaurants as food trucks is content. Your customer base wants to see more content, 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 starting with your own organic content to drive people to your brand. But more important than your own generated content is what we know as user generated content. When your business garnishes a lot of user generated content from other people on the internet, your social proof multiplies. It is just trust on steroids, because people trust people, not necessarily polished ads that you're putting out or polished videos that you're putting out. They know that you're going to talk good about your business. They know that you're going to try to sell them the meatloaf special. But when somebody else does it, when it's a real customer that puts that information out, it becomes an emotional glue that will just connect people to your brand in a way because they already trust you. Some examples of some great user-generated content that you can garnish for your business is simply your local followers or your friends who will film your tacos without even being asked. You'll get a lot of people that will just come in and film food. Everybody wants to be a foodie critic now. They'll take videos of your food and they'll put it out. Another great example of this is a local foodie who becomes your unofficial ambassador. This is like a local foodie who puts out a lot of food content, and for whatever reason, they just get attracted to your place and they will just start putting out video after video, content after content. And there's no real agreement with any of these people or anything like that, but they have no problem supporting you and putting it out there because they believe in you that much and you've just become one of their favorite places. Another example is a customer who comes in and posts a clip in return for some type of monetary value, or maybe it's a food value, and you ask them to come in and you offer them something to garnish that. It's an agreement between you and somebody in the community to come in and try your food. Now, I will tell you right up front, ask these people for their real honest opinion. Ask them for a real video. People love to see authenticity, and it's okay if an influencer or a foodie doesn't like your food. It doesn't mean that everybody's not going to like your food. Just because that one person had a bad experience, just make sure that they talk about something positive about your place, whether it be the atmosphere or the vibe. There are a lot of ways that you can garnish UGC, user generated content, without being weird about it. And one of these ways is just to create a simple photogenic moment within your establishment. When we had our barbecue restaurant, we actually had a big 1800 style wanted poster that said wanted, $10,000 reward for eating ketchup on brisket, last seen at Blue Country Barbecue, 20 East Remus Road, Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And the amount of people that I could get to just go up and take their picture in that wanted poster and then post it online was absolute UGC gold. So create those moments. Create something around your establishment that people want to take pictures and create that memory with, because we're not just eating food anymore. We're creating memories. Another thing that can help with user-generated comment is make sure you have that one signature dish that just begs for the camera to get whipped out and take a picture of it. One of the things that come to mind for me is if you go to Hash House a Go-Go and you order their sage crusted chicken and waffles, you are in for a complete dream, first of all. Probably the best chicken and waffles I ever had. But when you see this thing coming out on attractive plating and everything just looks perfect, and there's that big sprig of rosemary coming out of it, and it's just this gigantuous plate of chicken and waffles, it's just begging for people to take pictures of it. So I tell people all the time, have that one signature dish that people cannot get anywhere else. And if you want it, they're coming to your place. Every restaurant, every food truck going into 2026 needs to have that one signature dish. It's just the way it is now. We just have to have it. We have to. The other thing that you want to focus on to invite user-generated content is just having a good ambient vibe or aesthetic of your place. Incentives that make sense. Don't ask somebody to post for like 10% off. 10% off just seems like cringe to me. If somebody's going to come in and they're going to use your ambient vibe or your aesthetic and they want to make a post, offer them something good if you got to get them in. If they're already there, obviously you're not offering, but offer people something good to come in and use your ambient vibe and your aesthetic to leave that user rated content. This creates somewhat of a halo effect because when strangers see other strangers rave online about thing, your loyalty is going to grow before I've even come in and tasted the food because of the social trust, especially if it's from an influencer or a foodie that I follow. But we also have to remember that UGC is only half the equation because the other half is what the internet sees when it actually gets in and it kind of so quote unquote peeks behind the curtain of your business. So what we mean by that is your social media pages. This is your proof of life. I can see your reviews. I can see user generated content, but I kind of want to trust you as an authentic place and I want to see consistency. If you're only posting once every financial quarter, or very rarely, that's once every 2 to 3 months or even once a month, customers at times will assume that you closed or maybe even you got abducted by aliens. Who knows? But if we can't verify that you're open and that you're serving up the same goodness that I just saw from an influencer, that might be detrimental to getting me into your business for the first time and coming in to try it. If your algorithm is killing you, and let's be real, when I say the algorithm is killing you, it's not, the algorithm is not killing you. I need to rephrase that whatsoever. The algorithm might be being petty because the algorithm is petty, but it's the inactivity that's killing you. It's the inactivity of getting up and posting to your socials every day. It's the inactivity of getting up and telling people what your brand is all about. It's the inactivity of getting up and asking customers to leave that review. It's the inactivity of going out and going beyond your means to get people to come in and give you user-generated content. Clean branding builds trust. And when you piece all of this stuff together with the reviews, the user-generated content, your own social pages, you need to make sure that you're using clear photos with real faces and up-to-date info. Nobody wants to see grainy photos of your food. Nobody wants to see fake people that aren't going to actually be. If your dress attire is very relaxed and low key, then wear that dress attire in your videos. Don't show people that are all dressed up and fancy presenting this 5-star dining thing. And then you get there and you're like a fast and casual smash burger place. It just doesn't create the right vibe. You want to highlight parts of your menu. We tell people all the time that you want to capture people's processes and your product. You want to capture your people behind the scenes because people just love seeing humans do human things, I guess. You want to capture your process of how you put that smash burger together because people love seeing the story being told of how that burger goes from point A to point B to point C before it gets out to their plate. And you want to capture the product, which is obviously the burger itself, because once it goes through that process, boy, does that burger look sexy. And if that burger looks sexy, the world needs to see it. Although we need some good product processes and people in our stuff, here's one thing that you need to remember. You don't necessarily need Hollywood quality. We're not looking for a production team to come in and Hollywood cinematic style all your social media videos. What will get you further than that is frequency, personality, and clarity. Be authentic and just show people what it's like to actually have an experience at your establishment. If I can see the experience online before I get there, it's going to draw me in just a little bit better. Show them up on there and say, hey, we're open. Here's what's new and here's what you should try. You're not out there to confuse the customers. You're simply there to guide them and give them the experience that they're already craving. Guide them to what menu items they should try. Guide them to what days of the week they should come in. Guide them to checking out your menu. And speaking about guiding customers also, the next part that we're going to talk about is about the tech that's kind of behind this acquiring social trust, and it's secretly judging you. What I'm talking about of this tech that is secretly judging you is the AI search, because it's acting basically as the algorithmic bouncer of 2026. And why it's punishing low trust is that if your brand looks ghostly online, AI is going to pick competitors that look alive. You don't even have to wait for the customer to pick somebody else. AI is going to hand them a gift wrapped package of what they're searching for, and they're going to pick somebody else and give them to your target audience. So what is AI responding to? Online, AI is responding to review volume, review velocity, your local relevance, your active content, the social signals you put out, your user-generated content footprint, and your brand clarity. Those are all things that AI is going to wrap up into a nice little pretty package and hand deliver. So if you're not capturing all of that stuff and your competitors are, guess who's going to show up to me when I come and start searching for the best burger in Joplin, Missouri? There's going to be a day that restaurants without social trust are simply just going to stop showing up. Your customers won't be able to find you, and even locals will not realize that you're operating. Online has become the word of mouth, and competitors with stronger trust signals are already dominating search prompts like best tacos near me, top rated barbecue truck, where should I eat tonight? And when we're searching, we're not just searching best tacos near me anymore. We're actually going in depth with where should I eat tonight? Why should I eat there? I like tacos. Do they have tacos on their menu? What are people saying about their tacos? These are all follow-on questions that I could ask through an AI search query to actually narrow it down between all the taco joints around me, and then have AI say, based off of everything you asked me, this place has the best taco for you to try. And once I've asked all those questions and I've narrowed it down that much to where AI just delivered me an online ordering link for the best taco based on my questions, why would I not go through with that choice? Why would I continue to look for anything else? All right. Let's bring this home and talk about the real reason of why all of this matters. Basically, social trust is just the new table stakes. You can have the absolute best food in town, but if your digital reputation sucks, the world just assumes that your food does as well. Social trust is not marketing, it's survival. Survival of the fittest. And in 2026, this is the year that the internet is going to become your hype man or your executioner. You're going to build trust daily, automate systems, and make customers proud to vouch for you. And that's how you're going to win online in 2026. So if you want some more information on this, follow us on all of our socials, book a strategy call at our booking link in the bio, and let us help you build the kind of social trust that fills seats and feeds algorithms. Because in 2026, your opinion is not part of the recipe. We'll see you next time on 86 Opinions.